Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 Wii review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Punch-Out, which if you've never played it before, it's basically an arcade boxing game, but it's also kind of like a puzzler. So at the start you just simply select a profile, then you can obviously load, delete, etc. You've got loads of options on this one compared to other Punch-Out games where it's just simply starting the game. You've got career, you've got exhibition, so you can face fighters that you've already faced and like practice against them and that. Or just obviously for replaying them. You've got head-to-head, which is the multiplayer, which I will show off. Options, you just like choose control sets and that. And gallery is just a load of the stuff that you can unlock, which I'll get into that later. Seeing as for a Wii game it's actually got rather long loading times, I'm just going to cut into the first fight.
Bonjour, bonjour.
So as I say, if you've never played it before, it's basically an arcade boxing game, which also kind of like a puzzler. And by that I mean the fact that it's never just simple fighting with these guys. You have to work out their strategies, and you have to actually duck, dodge, dip, dive and dodge in whatever ways that you have to in order to counter and things like that. Some of the enemies on it are stupid in how you have to beat them, but it's part of the fun work because it's just one of them things that you really do have to think outside the box. Hence, as I say, it's kind of like a puzzler. So what's going on the screen, just to basically describe it here, you've got the health bar, which is obviously the little bit red bit there. You've got the heart system, which as long as you've got hearts, you can punch. If you don't have hearts, you have to dodge to get hearts back. Basically, if you throw a punch and it gets blocked, you'll lose hearts. To the left of that, you've got stars. Whenever you do something really well, like time a punch amazingly, you'll get a star. Like that, to be fair. You can then use the stars to do a special combo punch, and if you get a punch like that, then you'll get the crap kicked out, you'll lose your star. But when you've got the stars, you can use it to perform a special countery punch type thing, and the more stars you've got, the better the attack's going to be, because you can throw them in succession. Just underneath the health meter, you've got 3 dots. Those dots are basically how many times you or your opponent have been knocked down. Because, like real boxing, 3 times, well, if you get knocked on your butt 3 times, then that's it, TKO, end of the match. It doesn't matter whether all the rounds have gone or anything, that's it, end of the match. Because there's 3 rounds overall, and it's basically, if you don't win in the 3 rounds via a knockout or a technical knockout, then you go to the referees, and the referees will basically see which one of yours was better. But basically, there's 13 fighters to fight from, and there's only one new fighter to the series in this, unfortunately, because it's one of them things that you get the presence of been there, done that. But at the same time, if you really like the old games, then it's going to be nice to see the people who you used to hate fighting against and just like pummel the crap out of them again. After you beat those 13 though, then you'll have to face them all again with different strategies, and they're like harder and stuff like that. So it's as if there's actually 26 fighters on the game. It's just obviously they all look the same. You've got loads of little intros and cutscenes and that in between the fights and in between the rounds and stuff to basically hype it up. And just in case you didn't really get what I meant by the 3 knockdown thing, I meant in one round. If you get knocked out in round 1 and then round 2 and then round 3, then that doesn't count. It's 3 knockdowns in one round. The multiplayer mode, which obviously what you've just been seeing there, is a little hard to play. It's not as flawless as I'd have hoped, because it's the type of thing that you punch differently and dodges seem to like work in an opposite way. You push them and that, so it's a bit weird with that. But other than that, it is quite fun, because it's the type of thing that you can just have a daft laugh with, and you can get this like Giga Mac type thing, because basically you play as Little Mac and Player 2 plays as Little Charlie, and by pummeling the crap out of your opponent, you get this Giga Monster type thing, which then means that you've obviously got a huge advantage because you have a massive monster. Unfortunately though, I personally don't like the idea of the monster, and think that it would be much better if you could actually switch it off. Because I just think that there's no need for it, because I mean, why the hell can't you just have a proper boxing game type thing for 2-player? Why do you have to have all this crap here? It's the type of thing that, yeah, some people will like it, but personally I think it's also the type of thing that more people will end up hating it. I know there's also a lot of people going to complain that there's no online, but the company who made this is the same company who done Mario Strikers, and the online on that was terrible. Football is a type of game that really needs speed. Boxing needs speed even more. Punch-Out is all about fast reflexes and everything, so any form of lag is going to totally cripple the game. which is why also, going on to the controls, you can control it with either a Wiimote used as a NES pad, or you can control it with actual Wii controls, and you can include the motion board as well for dodging. The motion controls are not anywhere near as responsive as the button controls, and unless you are someone like Joe Calzaghe, you're probably going to end up getting your ass kicked by the later on fighters because you just won't have the speed. So, back to one player then, where the punching and the dodging feels right. Because I don't know what it is about the multiplayer, but it just doesn't seem to feel right, and the punches now look different as well. You seem to do different styles. So, that kind of brings me on to this. I know it seems a bit late to just be talking about it, but I've been acting as if everyone's already going to know what Punch-Out is. Basically, the standard play is that if you hold up and push the one button, then you'll punch left and high. If you hold up and push two, then you'll punch right and high. If you don't hold up, then you'll do body blows, holding down, dodges, type backwards type thing, ducks, up blocks, and left and right obviously dodges. So you've got that there. Pretty much the only things I've got left to say is just basically some of the unlockables. When you beat a person, you can first verse them in a challenge mode, and the challenge mode is basically you'll get different things, like you'll have to accumulate star power in a certain way, or you'll have to beat them in 5 punches. You can also unlock some cool things like headgear, where if you get your butt kicked 100 times, it gives you protective headgear. You can even unlock Donkey Kong to fight, which is really cool. There's obviously you can unlock the intros and stuff like that, but I personally don't rate the intros and cutscenes all that great, especially because you can't skip them. To be fair, there is one final thing. Graphically, the game looks fantastic. Gameplay wise, I think it plays fantastic. I really was excited about this when I heard about it, and it hasn't disappointed. Musically, it sounds just like the original NES one, only better. So I'm just going to leave you with some of it while I sign off.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Come on, come on. Mommy.
So there we go then, that's been the review. I hope you've enjoyed it, or at least found it helpful. You might have noticed I didn't score the game. Well, that's because it's a matter of personal opinion, and yours may very well differ from my own. I'm just here to show you a bit about the game. If you like it or not, well, that's up to you. If you don't like it, or you do like it, feel free to comment. Also, if I haven't answered any of your questions that you may have had, I might have forgot something, or it might just be something obscure. Again, feel free to comment, ask, always willing to help out. Otherwise, if you don't like commenting on YouTube, head over to www.vc-forums.com, where you can chat with me and a bunch of other lads who love the VC, the WiiWare, and hell, even a lot of other systems. We cater to pretty much everything. You can just go there, have a chat about a game, ask about some games, etc. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.